Hi everybody, it's Mary again. Today I wanted to talk about the research project, and I think it's easier to talk about it in addition to writing about it, so that's why I'm making a video. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit and get my paper. So, the research project, it is not due for a couple of weeks, so we've got until April 27th, but you should be thinking about it now. And let me tell you, the main problem that I see with the research projects where people lose points and do poorly is that some students don't put enough time into the project. So our position papers are 50 points and they only have to be about 600 words. The research project is 150. It needs to be 3 to 4 times the amount of work and content than the research paper. It is not uncommon for me to get research projects that are just 2 pages long. So you don't want to do that because you will get a bad grade. So make it substantial. It's a research-based project. The research project can be in any format you want. If you prefer a traditional paper, you can write it as a traditional paper. If you want to do a PowerPoint, very popular, you can do PowerPoint. You could make a video even if you wanted to present some elements of it as a video or an audio tape. I've had some of those, especially when people interview people. And a website is also a popular way to organize the project. However you want to do it, it's fine with me. So it's up to you. Another key thing to the research project, so I outline the categories that the project should have: definition, background, examples, significance, and your vision for the future. You really should organize your project into those categories, because if you look at the grading rubric, you'll see that I'm grading those categories. Now, if you don't organize your research project into those 5 categories, I have to look through your project and say, are there examples here? Am I getting that? What's the significance of this issue? And I might not catch everything. So far better for you to organize it in this way. Now, I know it's kind of an intangible project, but what you're really going to be doing is analyzing how masculinity or femininity, these myths that we've created, are played out in one arena. And I gave you some issues as examples. For example, what does masculinity look like in the military, and how has that changed as women are coming in? What does femininity look like if you're talking about the military? So I think too that, I can't remember if I talked, hysteria and thyroid disease. Thyroid disease is a biggie for me because I have it. I have Hashimoto's and Graves' disease, thyroid problems. And women are undertreated for this condition and treated poorly. It's hormonal, so we're like, woo-wee, it's just another female problem. So for me, I see that the issue of femininity and what we think women are is very much embedded in how medicine treats hypothyroidism, weight gain, depression, etc. All things that we can kind of just brush aside. So, but pick a tangible issue. So definition or explanation of the issue, the first category. Let's say entrepreneurship. Let's say you're interested in entrepreneurship. That's your issue. And so you explain and define the issue as how we always think of the money makers, entrepreneurs in our culture, as men. Maybe you give some statistics on how many men are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, what's another one? Or entrepreneurs like Donald Trump, etc. And you could write this from the standpoint of exploring masculinity as connected virility to making money, or you could look at this as femininity, trying to see how does femininity fit into the world of entrepreneurship or how it changes. You can use both of these categories looking at entrepreneurship. So you want to define the issue and then give some historical background, pretty easy. Look at our icons here, Rockefeller, you know, even Bill Gates. I mean, when you look at the history of American commerce, who emerges? Men. So you could do a lot on the background. And then maybe the emerging entrepreneurship of women. There was an African American woman who started a hair treatment company, and I can't remember the name, but she actually was one of the very first and most successful female entrepreneurs. So, going to give some background. Then examples of today, perhaps your issue is how entrepreneurship used to be entirely masculine, and now it is embodying both characteristics. We have more room. Maybe that's your approach. And so examples today, you might talk about the show Shark Tank, or Leanne Chin, successful businesswoman, whatever examples you want to give of how masculinity isn't so linked with entrepreneurship anymore. And maybe you want to give a couple examples of where it still is linked with masculinity. Keep thinking of Donald Trump, but I'm sure there's somebody better. Significance or impact, well, this matters because it's money. And women, how much of the world's wealth do women have? How much of American wealth do women have? So it matters, clearly significant. And this is important. This significance section is the only one with a word count. It has to be 300 words. So a page. You really have to show me why it matters. And then the vision is how you think things could look in the future. So how would the terrain of entrepreneurship look with women at the helm, maybe even running things? And you know, that vision could mean politics changes too. As women have more money and power, they have more access also to public office, which is often tied with money and power. So that's the research project. Spend more time on it than you think you need to, okay? And really pick something that interests you, because the strongest paper will come from something that interests you. Okay, that's it for the research project.